tonight, I welcome Lorne Elliott to Studio B. Lorne Elliott, everyone. Is yours working?
Yeah, I think so. I just didn't speak into it.
Oh, okay. All right, Lorne Elliott, my first question is, what do you consider to have been your big break?
Playing in Brampton tonight. Does that sound solicitous enough?
No.
You don't really, the idea of a big break doesn't really, I mean, if you're waiting for a big break, you're not doing the job.
No, I don't think it's working.
Yours is.
I'm not.
Talk right into it. Sometimes it's a bit.
I'm talking right there? All right, so she was asking me what I thought what my big break was, and I don't really, I don't know, you just sort of slowly accumulate shows and an audience and likes or dislikes what you do, and hopefully they'll come back to see what else you've got. But big break, well, it's kind of a showbiz myth, which is I think it's kind of perpetrated by management and other people than artists. The artists, you're just happy to be playing for 2 or 3 people. If you start thinking about being on a higher level than you are, I think you're getting away from an audience, for one thing, getting away from your art. And that idea of a big break plays into that whole mythology of showbiz, which has nothing to do with reality, which is just can be a lot of fun, like tonight with some people who are more or less in the same wavelength as you. God bless you.
Now, what if I asked you what made you funny? How would you answer that?
Well, I don't think of myself as funny, really. I try to organize the information in a way that's surprising, and I do. Now that it's my living, I understand that a humorous show is a way that you can sustain a livelihood in this business. I think W.H. Auden once said that comedy was actually the only art form that you can expect to make a living off of, without a patron. You can maintain your independence. That aspect of it always attracted it to me, and yeah, I'm starting to be heard now. So where was I? I forgot the question.
Well, let's go to the next one.
Sure.
Now, you're an award-winning playwright, you're an accomplished musician, and also comedian. Now, do you feel you have to pursue all 3 of those avenues to be creative? Do you think you'd be lost without one?
I always liked people that jacks of all trades and masters of none, which is really what I am. I'm not in any ways a virtuoso in any of those things, I like spreading it around just because it's rather, you write a line or you find something that you think is going to work in front of an audience, and it's neat to have, different forums to be able to put it in, whether it's going to find its way into a song or a monologue or a play. They demand different things. I like variety. I always like people like Noel Coward, for instance. Craftsmen, really, and it's an outlet for different crafts, but it's all the same. It comes from the same source.
Now, for what piece of work do you think you're most famous?
Good Lord. Well, fame, yeah. I mean, probably whatever is on television, the most recent. I know when I've been on television, because people will request the songs that are on television,
Yeah.
So, but once again, fame is one of those things which is best not to think about. It's a distraction. The most interesting thing to think about is what your audience is thinking when you say a certain thing in a certain way. That's where the craft is. That's where the art really is, and it's massively fun for me. And even if it's not fun, it sure is engaging. It really does keep you occupied.
How many people are here because of Madly Off in All Directions? Fans of that. How about Lauren's script writing?
Probably none.
Yeah. So probably more Madly Off.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's the media.
That's
it's not
what
the media. Absolutely, you're hitting. We were hitting 500,000 people a week. So sure, yeah, no, I understand that. I'm not trying to be naive about it. Yeah. But on the other hand, it's great to have the plays because you never know what Steve Martin was saying, that he's done a few movies in the last 10 years, and he says what he's most known for, what keeps coming back to him, were a couple of things he wrote in the New Yorker, you know. Yeah. So what is actually the most widespread is not necessarily that which is most culturally penetrating. Right. You know, the thing that puts you over the top, you know. Not necessarily the best work.
Yeah, for sure. So, now, you've actually been compared to Robin Williams.
Me? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I both had a heart attack.
I guess the going off in madly all directions kind of thing, but how do you feel about that?
I've always appreciated Robin Williams' work. I never met the man, but sure, he could be compared to worse. Yeah, why not? I think it's a different style. He's less of a writer, more manic, much better performer. Yeah, better actor, I think. Yeah. Probably less of a writer. Yeah.
Now, do you take a lot of inspiration from real life situations, right?
Yeah, from is the operative word there. They're never actually the way they happen, but they have a seed in something that did happen. Yeah.
Right. Now, what would you say is one of the funnier real-life situations that you've encountered recently? And is it going to go into your material?
Yeah, it's already going in. Tonight I was talking just at the end about turning my lawn into a case of scotch. It's amazing that people laugh at that because you don't know. I mean, there were a few things I was talking about tonight which I'd never really tried before. They just occurred to me. John Nagy, for instance, I don't know if you remember John Nagy, but there was just a glimmer of recognition from that name. He used to do this art show on television, an early influence. You know, he used to have a goatee and a beret, and hence was an artist. But yeah, you try different things. So yeah, that encourages me to work forward on turning my lawn into a case of scotch. But I've been writing that as part of the Sustenance project, but also as part of Harrowsmith magazine has asked me to write a Christmas column for next year, and I've been putting my mind to that. But I think I'll work it out in front of, because of the encouragement tonight, just from the recognition of what I'm saying, I'll probably try to work that into what it means is planting barley in your lawn, taking the barley, drying it, and distilling it, which is illegal. Which is a really interesting way that the story is going, because I've been looking in Ottawa about, well, exactly where is distillation illegal, because we took some of our apple cider, which I talked about a bit tonight, and well, some of it went hard, some of it became, you know, not just apple juice but apple cider, and then on New Year's Eve I'd heard that they used to do this. We left it out in a snowbank and subjected it to the process of cold distillation. So, and it becomes apple jack, okay? It makes like just a concentrated form. The alcohol doesn't freeze. The waters and fruit juices do, so you have this beautiful drink, really, very real, dreamy tasting. So I thought, well, you might be able to do that with cider and distill it legally. Because
you spent a lot of time thinking about this.
This one I have, because it touches on a lot of different things. Like, where does the legal definition of distillation? You know, I mean, I think that you should be. I think you are legally entitled in this country to plant your lawn in barley, dry it over a peat fire, make a sort of a brew out of it, the barley brie, and then leave that out in a snowbank and get scotch, whiskey.
Is this going to turn into a play?
That's it might. That's the thing. It's long enough, because now I'm getting involved in the legality of it. And bam! Once you get into that, you're through the looking glass. Yeah. You know, once you get into Ottawa laws, so I'm really trying to find the line exactly what's legal. Because even owning a still you can now, but you have to open it in the presence of an excise officer. So it's insane. I mean, just that you have to. There's somebody being paid by your taxpayers' money to come to a still to watch that you're not drinking what you've taken from the still. What other reason would you want to, if you had a still, you know?